Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Three Geeks Conversation. It is Jason here. I am joined today by Echo Andersson and BJ Verot. How you guys doing today?
Hey, doing pretty well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with you, BJ. So what made you want to get into filmmaking?
Oh, I think that's something that came right from early childhood. Once I could get my mitts on some action figures, that's pretty much all I was doing. So I think it was just a natural progression as I grew up.
Nice. I guess it's a way of playing with action figures.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Echo? What made you want to get into acting?
Watching movies. It was from a very young age. I couldn't understand why I could watch all of these great, exciting things happen and not just be a part of it. And I remember talking to my parents at 5 years old, being like, "Can I do that? Why can't I do that?" And they were like, "We'll put you in some acting classes. Let's do that."
What are some of the movies that impacted both of you?
Go ahead, Echo. Or do you want me to go first? I got a few that.
Go first.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's one of my favorite all-time movies, but it definitely impacted me when I was little. I saw Leviathan, the Peter Weller film.
Oh yeah.
At a pretty young age, and I was like, how are people allowed to make this stuff? It's too scary. But I mean, that's coming from the 6-year-old me who was like, but I'd also like to make that kind of thing. So some of the films that I watched that really resonated with me. I was born in the 80s, so I just love that decadent, kind of over-the-top era, like RoboCop, Predator, Alien, and Aliens were amazing. So I came up with a lot of that kind of horror, sci-fi subgenre films that, I still love today.
Awesome.
I feel like I was introduced, my favorite director of all time is Brian De Palma, and I think I was introduced to him way too young. I remember seeing Body Double, and I was like, that's really cool. So yeah, campy horror, which is I think naturally exciting for children to watch because there's lots of colors and flashing lights and things like that. That was one of the first movies that made me kind of I would love to be a part of stuff like this. I want to work with people like this.
Oh, campy horror is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleepaway Camp 2 is one of the best campy horror films of all time. But tell me a little bit about The Return.
Sure. So The Return is about a college student whose father passes away, and he goes to deal with his dead father's affairs, and he brings his friend and his girlfriend with him while he's dealing with that. And he discovers that there's this entity in his house, and it turns out that this is something that was also in his life when he was younger. So he sets out to discover why this thing is back and what happened to essentially his whole family. This presence in the house has kind of fractured everything that he's known about his family life. So that's essentially the film right there.
Nice. Echo, how did you become a part of the project?
I auditioned for the role of Jordan, and I immediately on reading the character breakdown for her, I was like, oh, that's me. I need that. That's mine. I want it so badly. And I thought the project was really fresh and exciting, and we shot in my hometown where BJ and I both are from. And so for what was shooting in the city, it's typically not this type of content. And so it was so exciting to have something like this shooting in our city. So I was just so excited to even get to audition for it.
Did you guys know each other prior to making The Return?
Yeah, we knew each other. We crossed paths a lot on set. She's involved in a lot of film industry work here, and as well as myself, I do stunts on certain projects, and we definitely had a good relationship.
Yeah.
But we definitely I would say The Return is where we got to work together and definitely became friends.
Yes.
So BJ, as the writer and director, where did you come up with the story, and then how does the story morph throughout filming?
So for The Return, the co-writer Ken Janssens, he had the concept for the script. So he came to me and he had the idea of the haunted house and the time travel twist, and I thought it was great. So I came on and I kind of really helped kind of distill it down to its core elements, played with dialogue, really just trying to tighten it up to work within the budgetary constraints that we had. But on the director side, definitely what appealed to me is I love that it started as like a really grounded, classic haunting, very stripped down score, a ghostly entity that you would maybe tropically identify with, and then things continue to organically evolve. And I love that part, that it really does find itself in a big shift going into the third act, but it's not forced. It's always been part of the narrative. And to me, that was great. Just taking those two genres and like bending them together in a way that, feels relatively coherent. That really appealed to me. So that was something that I really wanted to explore on this film.
And then Echo, what does it feel like preparing to play a character in a film such as The Return?
Well, what was really important, I think, like crucial, I would say, to the development of the character is actually getting to like sit down with Richard and Sarah, because it is so much about the dynamics between those three characters, and like there wouldn't be a Jordan without a Roger counterpart. And so like getting to sit down with those two folks before we started was like essential, and luckily we just like blended right away. Day one was kind of a big day. We shot like some of the stuff that like some of our last scenes of the film on the first day of shooting, and that really like I think kind of solidified like, all right, we're doing this, let's get into it. And yeah, so preparation was really just like blending and vibing with those two actors and finding our voices in the ensemble.
Yeah, if I could piggyback off of that, one of the things that I've heard a lot at the film festivals that I attended, or people who checked out the movie, was they definitely felt like there was a really strong synergy and chemistry between the characters. And I would totally agree. I feel like not only do all three characters get along in different capacities as the film progresses, but you can even see like a shift when it's a trio. And then when Sarah's character, Beth, gets killed, you almost see like Roger and Jordan kind of fall into like a more familiar kind of like older friendship that like, kind of develops once Beth's character's out. And like, I love that about it. You can kind of see that there's more depth to what they have together, when it's just them two alone in a house facing their fears.
Echo, I got to ask, what was it like being an assistant to Don Mancini?
Oh, great. He's a good friend. He's the best. He's the best, and they're about to wrap on their series. So that's very exciting. I cannot wait to see it.
A fun fact, my cousin is dating Alex Vincent from...
That's hilarious. What a small world. I've met Alex a few times, and he's lovely.
He's a very nice guy. He's got a great taste in television as well. But no, I thought Cult was a great movie. Like,
absolutely, I thought so too. I mean, I met Don through Nick Antosca, who was good friends with him, and kind of they worked on Hannibal together. And then I was working as Nick's assistant on his first TV show that he show ran. And Don came for a couple days just to visit, and I met him, and I was like, "Oh, you're the best." And so when he left, I was like, "Hey, if you ever need an assistant, if you're back in town." And sure enough, the next like 6 months later, he was like, "Does that offer still stand? I'm coming to shoot Cult." So
was that were you a fan of Child's Play going into?
No,
Cult?
I had seen one Child Play film before, so the weekend before we went to camera, I watched and I was totally honest with him. I was like, I haven't watched a lot of Child's Play. I've seen the first one, and I was like, but this weekend I'm watching all of them. And so I did, and I became a big fan. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. And BJ, you've done a little bit in every aspect of filmmaking. What is your favorite, or what is the one that you're more driven towards?
Well, yeah, I guess if you look at my kind of like career as a whole, it definitely has two streams. Like, one is definitely like the filmmaker side, which is a writer director. I also happen to produce a lot of my own work. And then my other stream is stunt work. I love them both. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think I'll ever be able to stop like writing and directing. And that's something that's just been in me, like I said, since I was little. But I mean, stunts are just so fun. I mean, it's a great time when you get to just like hack a door down with an axe or whatever, right? And I just think I have a good skill set for it. I used to compete in judo, and I trained wrestling, and like I can do weird stuff like backflips. So all of these little things just kind of tie together where you need a guy to fall down good. Sometimes I'm your guy, so it's been really fun.
You've been in a lot of sequels as a stuntman. I'm looking at your IMDb page right now, and That's awesome. You were on Burden of Truth. What kind of stunts would you do on a show like that?
Those ones were pretty small. I think I got punched in the face on that one. So all in all, not a bad day. It was pretty good.
That's pretty awesome. I bet doing stunts is fun, especially if you're into that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very lucky. Like where I'm from here in Winnipeg, in Canada, the stunt team that I run with, everything's really safe. A lot of attention to detail and prep. So you always feel like you're as prepared as you can be, depending on whatever it is that's you're getting ready to do on that day, which is always a good place, because then you're ready in your mindset, and then you just got to go do the physical execution of it.
Absolutely. Echo, BJ, let everybody know where they can find you guys online and where to find the film.
All right. So you can find me on Instagram or Twitter. That's where I'm busiest or most accessible. It's just my name, at BJ Verot. And through both of those accounts, I think in my bio, my write-up, that's where you can find the return account. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Yeah.
You can find me at Echo Andersson, spelled this way.
Awesome. Thank you guys both for joining me. And thanks everybody for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, and share around. Check out The Return pretty much anywhere where VOD is, and have a great day.